Hello everybody, I hope you are having a absolutely wonderful day. Yeah, as you can probably tell from the title, today I don't have anything super concrete planned, and I thought we'd just chat. In hindsight, maybe that was not the best of ideas because today in the US is Labor Day, and I have noticed on these US holidays we don't get as many people here, so I have no idea who is actually going to show up to chat with me. I will say that I'm not sure how long I feel like streaming today. It might only be a half an hour or an hour. I might get into it and we keep going forever, but we shall see. I do see 𝗚𝗏𝘁 here. Hello. So at least I know I will not be talking to myself the whole time. And my plan to just wing it today was not completely off what I should have been doing. We have, as always, 𝗀𝗀𝗵𝗃 who has decided she wants attention right as I'm starting streaming. By the way, for anybody who is new here, I think it's mostly just me and 𝗚𝗏𝘁 at the moment, but in case anybody else is here or you're watching the replay, my name is Taff. I am a planner addict, sticker designer, and cat mama to Coco and Opal. If any of that sounds good, welcome. Feel free to hit that subscribe button, press the little thumbs up like thing, let me know you like this. If you don't like any of that, well, poo-poo to you, hit the thumbs down, I don't know. So yeah, we are just going to, as 𝗚𝗏𝘁 puts it, have a chat off. Yay! I'm sure I could ramble about something because I usually manage to. Such language, 𝗚𝗏𝘁 says. I know, right? Here's the thing, like, while I have no problem with swearing and cursey words, I am the oldest of 3 children, and the youngest is a whole 8 years younger than me. So when I was in high school learning to use all of these lovely cursey words, and I know YouTube doesn't like hearing all this good stuff, especially during the first couple minutes, so I'm trying to be a little bit careful. Anyway, I had to learn very early on to rein it in. Hello, Abigail. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Welcome to today's informal planner chat where I made a probably quite stupid decision to just wing it. We'll see. Hopefully we'll have fun. It should be a good one. I don't know. I'm excited. I do have a little bit of an announcement, not enough to really make a whole stream out of it though. I was gonna try to wait until a couple more people are here, but you know what? You guys are gonna be the first ones to hear it, and maybe I'll have to repeat it. Maybe you can guess what it is. Remember last week how I told you guys how I applied for a September Erin Condren collaboration, and I really hoped I got it, and then in a subsequent stream I'm like, well, the stuff I applied to review released. It was the Fall Desk Organization collection. Well, I found out I got it. So I do not know when, but very soon, possibly as early as Thursday, we shall be having a stream reviewing everything from this lovely desk organization collection. I believe it was last time we actually went through the Erin Condren website and I gave you my impressions based on the listings. I don't know what's going to be in said box, but I do know in my application I specifically mentioned that I wanted the stupid laptop stand. I shouldn't say stupid, but told them I've been gushing about it for months and I could literally use it in all of my streams. Right now, I typically use a lap desk to push my computer a little bit up my laptop so that when I am looking at my laptop, my line of sight is a little bit better. Right now, I'm actually sitting up a little bit higher than normal because my normal desk chair is broken, so I'm sitting on a different chair. This is how I usually look. Slouching. But anyway, I can't have this lap desk out on my desk all of the time because it has one of those soft wrist rests, which usually is a really great thing, but the cats have decided it's a scratching post. And since said lap desk did not originally belong to me, it belonged to my mother. What I legitimately do is I put it in my storage room, and then right before stream, I take it out, put it under my computer. And then at the end of stream, like literally right after I click the button to stop going live, I like turn off my ring light and my camera, and like, unless I'm going to be doing stuff at my desk, but usually it's late enough in the day that I'm not doing anything at my desk for the rest of the day. And then I literally just go put this back. So I'm very happy that I'm going to have something that that can actually stay on my desk, even if I don't end up using it for my computer all the time. Very, very excited for that. Hello, Shakira. I hope you are having a good one. I'm also very excited to have a stand because it looks like it will also work for my iPad, which I have, honestly, with the amount I've been using it, it probably was not the smartest of purchases. It was like 2 or 3 years ago that I got it. I think it was 2 years ago. Anyway, I've started using it more again. And Ackman, you are not going to rest until I get the 𝗂𝗏𝗏 cat toy. Because here's the thing, like, that will only keep them, like, busy for so long. And then they're going to be like, ooh, I want something else to play with. Anyway, I've been wanting to use my iPad more. I've been starting to use it more, but I often have issues about angles. I got this little pen pouch in one seasonal surprise box from 𝗂𝗏𝗏, and I want to say it was 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know for sure. Knowing the color, it was probably a fall one, and I don't think I got fall. It wasn't fall 2022. I didn't get fall 2021. Maybe it was fall 2020, maybe fall 2019. I don't know. But anyway, I just have been keeping my Apple Pencil in here because I don't know. I don't have a better place to put it. It's a little bulky, but you know what? It works. I might see if I can steal some wide elastic from my mom if she has some to like make something a little bit more sleek. But in the meantime, we'll use the 𝗂𝗏𝗏 one. I just thought I would show that to you because I just figured that out like yesterday. And it kind of goes with my cover, even though my cover is kind of springy. So I actually made the admittedly kind of atrocious thumbnail for today's live on the iPad really quickly in Canva. But I have to be really careful right now, and I can't hold things because my wrist is acting up. Specifically, well, it's not technically my wrist that's acting up, it's my fingers, but I think it's carpal tunnel, which happens in your wrist. Anyway, all of the things, very annoying. This has been happening to me on and off for a few weeks, and I finally actually got my butt in gear and made a doctor's appointment to have them look at it. And what does not help with this whole thing, you know, it starts to feel like, you know, I get the symptoms, like some of it's soreness, some of it's actual carpal tunnel. I'm not going to go into depth what carpal tunnel is. It's not, oh my goodness, the chat is crazy. Give me a sec. So sorry about that. There we go. That should be better. Anyway, holding pens or the Apple Pencil or any pencils in general aggravates it. Playing video games aggravates it, which I've been doing a lot of lately. And then in the past few days, I've started crocheting again, a lot. And unfortunately, that makes it bad. So, yay. I have a doctor's appointment, I think like next week or something like that. So, hopefully that will go well and it won't be anything too bad, and I will be able to fix it with, I don't know if they'll want to give me a different brace or exercises or just like, hey, don't do anything with your right hand for a while, which is going to be really annoying because I'm right-handed. And oh man, if you've ever tried to not do things with your dominant hand over like a period of time, it can get annoying. Like, even my water cup I had on the right-hand side, and I'm trying to do everything I can with my left hand, and like picking up a cup of water is one of the simplest things I can do with my left hand. But I normally just put it on the right side, so I have to like grab the coaster and grab the cup, and I cut a bell pepper up for my lunch with my left hand as the primary hand, it was very interesting. I have not gotten to writing with my left hand yet. Well, I can say I kind of did. It's just like I haven't lately because I know it's really bad. At some point, maybe I'll practice. But anyway, yeah, trying to do anything with my left hand that I can. And of course, because Coco knows that I usually pet her with my right hand, she's on my right hand side because she wants to take advantage of all that. Okay, we have some stuff in the chat, and since this is a chat stream, I should probably actually keep up with it. Shakira, you're doing well. I'm glad to hear that. How am I? What's up with the hand? I mean, I just kind of went over that. I'm guessing you saw that before I explained. I hope it's nothing too serious, too. I'm hoping I don't have to get surgery. How am I, other than the hand? I mean, you didn't specifically say that, but I'm doing okay. I'm still kind of like, you know, like, have you ever had like one of those times where you just need to like do this like huge mental reorganization and kind of like figure everything out? That's kind of where I am. Maybe that's just a me thing. I've been introverting quite a lot lately. And as I've mentioned a few times, I'm trying to kind of like in some ways reorganize my business from the ground up. In some ways, it helps that I am mostly a one-woman business. I outsource a couple things, but for the most part, it's me. So, it like doesn't really impact a lot of people, but it also means that I don't have anybody to like help me through it as much as if I had an employee. I probably could ask Leah because she's one of the people I outsource to, but I kind of haven't gotten that far yet. And then part of that is to figure out exactly how closely I want to integrate my YouTube channel into my sticker shop over on Etsy. And then also, in some ways, what direction I want to go with my sticker shop. One of the things I've been wanting to do for quite a while is transfer a lot of my stickers into printables. So I have to figure out if I'm going to put them in the same shop or put them in a different shop. And there's like this whole thing where like you have to kind of come up with your target customer. That I could talk about for a little while. But let me go ahead and go down the chat a little bit more. And then if you guys are interested, I can tell you about my brain and kind of how I figured out with that exercise, because I've been struggling with it for quite a while. Ooh, I'm glad the colors complement each other well. And yeah, Shakira, those pen pouches are really only good for like 4 pens. But I will say that if you're in a situation where you just want to have like 2 to 4 pens with you, then, you know, having something like sometimes having something small is needed. Obviously, it's not great if you need more stuff, if you need more pens with you. But like for my purposes, it's a little big for an Apple Pencil, but almost all the other options I just had lying around would have been like way too small. And I saw one that was essentially just like a band of elastic with a little pocket in the middle. And so if my mom has some elastic of the right size in black, because I feel like white would look weird sitting around, I'll probably just steal that from her and see if I can put something together. If not, I'll just like go to Joann's and see if I can get some cheap elastic with a coupon. That's the other thing I've been getting into, sewing lately. I used to do like all the like sewing and crocheting and stuff like that as a kid and through high school. And in high school, it's actually really funny because that's kind of the time when a lot of my depression started rearing its ugly head. And like in hindsight, I know that a lot of it was coming from my undiagnosed ADHD and some of the things I was struggling with from there. And I'm sure there were some other things going on. But for a little while, like being able to like sew and crochet and stuff like that was like very helpful. But as I like went to college and would move dorm rooms and sorority house rooms and stuff like that, between time and space issues, I kind of stopped sewing or crocheting. Like I wouldn't, you know, bring all my yarn stash. Not that I ever had like a huge yarn stash, but anyway, I just kind of stopped doing it. I've picked up sewing or crocheting a little bit over the past few years, but it's like kind of nice to feel like in a lot of ways I'm like getting back to the things I used to love to do, because there are, you know, things that I'm like, oh, I like to do that. And I think I haven't done that for so long. And I know to some extent that's just kind of an adult thing, but it's also a depression thing. Does anybody remember those? I think there were like Zoloft commercials in like the early to mid aughts, where it was like this blob, like sad little blob bouncing around. And they're like, do you not enjoy things the way you used to? Like seriously, like I related to that so much. and still kind of do. So it's very happy to me that I'm enjoying those activities again. Unfortunately, crocheting and my hand don't seem to get along. Maybe I should try to learn to crochet left-handed, but because you have to like tension your yarn and hold your project, I'm not sure in the long run. Like a lot of people have issues with their non-dominant hand hurting when crocheting. I know we're not talking about planners at all, but that's okay. Thank you for the heart. Oh, the thumbnail was lovely. I'm glad you liked it. It is very much not up to what I consider a good thumbnail, but I'm glad you liked it. Part of what's going on is I do not have enough patience / experience a lot of times to do the kind of designs for thumbnails or other things that I want quickly, which is where the patience comes in. So then I get frustrated because I'm like, oh my God, that looks so amateurish. I'm like, yeah, because you took 10 minutes and threw something together. Of course it does. You didn't spend time on it. Anyway, you're sorry, Shakira, to hear that the chat derails my train of thought. I mean, that's kind of the nature of this. When we're chatting, this community and people that show up still are small enough that I can look and reply to most, if not all of your chats, depending on how quickly the chat is popping off. So because you guys can some ways, like you guys can type things faster than I can respond to everything, there is going to be a little bit of derailing because of the chat. That's just kind of the nature of things. And honestly, because I can keep up with it, I like to keep up with it. It's fun. It makes me feel like I'm getting to know you guys. And I know that if and when my streams do grow bigger, that might not be a possibility. And in that case, like, you know, if the chat was more active, then maybe things would be a little bit more fluid because I wouldn't be bouncing around and going back into topics that I already stopped rambling about. But you know what? This, like, with that, I wouldn't, like, because of the nature of that, like, I wouldn't have enough time to read everybody's chats. So there's, like, maybe better from a watchability point of view in some ways, especially a rewatchability, but I don't know. I like being able to see everybody's stuff, you know, chats and what you guys say, and you guys often bring up a lot of really good points, either stuff that I hadn't thought about or bring up, you know, give me details or facts about stuff that I just don't know off the top of my head or didn't bother to look up before the stream or whatever. So yeah, I have no, I'm not mad about the chat derailing me whatsoever. I love the chat. I mean, if the chat wasn't a thing, then to some extent that would destroy half of my purpose for lives, and I'd still be pre-recording a lot of stuff. Now, that isn't to say that I don't think at some point in the nearest future I will be adding some sort of pre-recorded videos into the cycle, because I think I'm going to. I have not figured out exactly what that's going to look like yet. And in that sort of situation, obviously we have to have the chats like after the fact in the comments, and that is fun in its own way. Okay, I like went down a little bit because I like never quite adjusted my camera when I switched chairs, but that was hurting my back. So I'm sorry, we're gonna have to cut the top of my head off a little bit. Actually, let me try to adjust the camera. Sorry. Maybe a little bit. Okay, no, I don't think that's really better. No, the problem is that it's very hard for me to like grab the part from here that I have to adjust. So whatever, we're just gonna deal with it. So yeah, hello Sharon. I hope you are having a wonderful evening. To anybody who has arrived, since I said at the very beginning of the stream, if you're in the US, happy Labor Day. Thank you for hanging out here. Partially because it's Labor Day, and partially because I just didn't have anything that I especially wanted to do. We're just chatting today. So if you guys don't put anything in the chat to spur me on, I'm just going to keep randomly chatting and like rambling about whatever. But I don't know if anybody's taken the time to go back and look at like my really old plan with me's. that were pre-recorded, I would just like legit ramble for a half an hour while I was putting stickers down, and I managed it perfectly fine. So we all know that Tef can ramble. And you guys seem to think it's entertaining, and as long as I'm in the right mood, I enjoy it, so I figure it's all good. Oh, I did want to let you guys know something else. I know I let you guys know before the big announcement that I was picked for the Erin Condren desk accessory collaboration. Apart from the laptop stand I was gushing over, there are some cool stuff that I would be excited to try, though I have no idea what is going to be in the box. So hopefully that hopefully the laptop stand is there, but based on what I said when I applied, I hope if it wasn't gonna be, they'll put it in there. But I am very excited to try all the other stuff. There are definitely like a couple things that I'm like, I know exactly what I'm gonna do with that. So yeah, as I said previously, if I have it by Thursday, we might go over it Thursday, but I don't know when it's coming. Sometimes I manage to sometimes, oh my goodness, sometimes they'll send me a tracking number and sometimes they won't. I'm guessing it just has to do with kind of how things are going over there and how busy it is. I do like to have tracking numbers. I don't for packages. Usually when it's something I'm buying and ordering, I just get the tracking number and it's not a big deal. But when it's Etsy PR, I'm not paying the shipping, so they don't automatically give me the tracking number. But I just saw Shakira talking about the Hobonichi launch in the chat. We will come back to that because I'm excited. I completely forgot about that. That might be what we look at today if the chat doesn't take us other places. Oh, so 3 years ago, I had a package stolen from my porch. And as far as what, oh, and then I see the what's Daiso thing. Oh, yes, stupid chat, it always distracts me. Daiso, think of it as like a Japanese dollar store, kind of. It's like a $1.50 store and up. Basically, that's what Daiso is. I don't have it in Portland, but every time I go up to Washington or down to California, I love going to Daiso. Anyway, so I had a package 3 years ago stolen off my porch. It was like whipped cream canisters. So as far as like importance of something getting stolen, I'm like, I mean, have fun, resell it, but like, I don't know. It's like, it wasn't a big deal, I guess, that they stole it, but I haven't had any problems since the 3 years ago, but I do not want to become a target, and an Erin Condren PR box is kind of a good, like, you know, someone who steals it, whether they're going to sell it or use it themselves, like that would be kind of a good fit. Like, they'd probably be excited about that. I'm grabbing lip balm and Coco's like, oh my God. Anyway, so that whole rambly thing to say that I like to bring packages in from the doorstep as soon as possible so that I do not become a target for porch pirates. And like, I don't know if anybody would like, if porch pirates like stake out houses and like figure out what the good ones are. But what I will say is that while I technically live right near a dead end, I live right near a park entrance. So in theory, like we have people walking by my house, my apartment, house, whatever, all the time. I'm not sure what to call it because it's not really either. It's, anyway. But yeah, I live right near a park, so people can walk by and look very inconspicuous. And so, yeah, I mean, on the other hand, usually like a car just sitting and staking everybody out would be noticed, but it would not be very hard for someone to take a walk once or even twice a day and kind of stake out all the places. And because my doorstep is visible from the street, it would be very easy for someone to do that and like see if packages are sitting there. So that's why I like to bring them in ASAP. Okay, let me go back. Oh, thank you for saying congratulations, Sharon, for getting it. Caramel Cookie likes my thumbnail. Hello. I'm glad you guys like it, because I honestly, I mean, I thought it was better than nothing, but I really didn't. It was the best I could come up with in 10 minutes. At some point, I've been saying this for months, at some point I will come up with at least one or maybe like 5 different like thumbnails for live streams, and then just kind of either like use the one or like cycle through whatever I have, and like I'll actually spend time on them and make them all coordinate and all that good stuff. But I have not done that yet, so whatever. Ackman did not buy anything from the 𝗂𝗏𝗏𝗏 BOGO sale. That is surprising. I mean, understandable though. There are some very cute covers that I really wanted to get, but I never actually end up switching my planner covers, so I kept myself from doing it. But if anybody is still interested in the 𝗂𝗏𝗏𝗏 BOGO Labor Day sale, it's buy one, get one on snap-in covers, bookmarks, and sticky notes. Basically anything snap into a planner is on this BOGO sale. And I believe it is stackable with their like buy 4 accessories, get a percentage off. And if you've never made a purchase on aaronconjurin.com before and would also like an additional $10 off your purchase, I do have a link down below. Shakira, thank you for confirming that is stackable. As far as I'm aware, by the way, that $10 off your first Aaron Condren purchase is stackable with other things. I think there's also a link for 15% off when you sign up for their text list. And I also recently ran into like a specific link for 15% off when you sign up for the Aaron Condren Insider emails. So I will be adding those soon, but I need to kind of go back through and update some of my standard description links. No idea where that came from, that accent. But yes, a lot of times the Aaron Condren coupons and deals are stackable, which is very nice. The one thing that seems to have more limits on it is the 10% off coupon that you get when you purchase a life planner. That seems to have more limits than anything else, but a lot of the other stuff is quite stackable. And then I think Aaron Condren might also be part of Rakuten, if I'm remembering correctly. Yes, it is. So I know a lot of people on YouTube have talked about Rakuten because they've like sponsored people on YouTube, but basically it's like a cashback site. It used to be called Ebates, but yeah, if you either go to the Rakuten site and like search Aaron Condren and then click their button to go over to the Aaron Condren site, or if you install the plugin and like click the little thing when it pops up to activate it, you can get 2% cash back from your entire Aaron Condren order. I know 2% isn't a lot, but if you often shop on sites that are part of this program, it can definitely add up. I know that, oddly enough, I get a lot of my groceries at Target. And I know that sounds really weird, but they actually have some pretty good prices when it comes to groceries. And I really like the fact that it's usually ready for drive up in 2 hours. And they don't have, like, you don't have a specific time slot you have to go during, because sometimes I feel like going to pick up stuff and sometimes I don't. And so for me, I don't know if it's an ADHD thing or just, I don't know. But anyway, I like the flexibility of Target. And because I tend to get most of my veggies and produce frozen as opposed to fresh, the few things that I do get fresh are available at Target at a decent price. And most other things are, like, there are very few things I don't get at Target for groceries. I know that sounds really weird, but it actually, like, for me, actually works very well. Anyway, Rakuten does not give me cash back on Target grocery orders, but there are some other sections that do. And I believe, like, some of the pharmacy stuff applies or something like that. So, like, Like I take vitamin D, for instance, because on top of everything else going on, I've noticed that seasonal affective disorder impacts me, like when it's cloudy in the winter and whatnot. Basically, like seasonal depression, it's called, if you're not familiar with it. And anyway, vitamin D can help with that. So that's something that I buy. I don't know if vitamin D specifically is, you know, part of the 2%, but that's just kind of an example of like something that I might grab, or if I need Band-Aids or, you know, anything else in Target, not anything, but a lot of things at Target you can just do drive up. And so it's very handy, and sometimes I can get a little bit back. I think maybe Amazon you can do some stuff with. Anyway, Rakuten is very cool. I do not have a link or anything. I'm just saying, like, hey, if you want to stack stuff, why not? So that is very cool. I am all about getting cash back. The one thing I will say though, and maybe this is obvious, this is decently obvious to me, but as part of, you know, a cashback service, I think part of the reason is they effectively, you know, they track what you get and use it for market research. So you're getting cash back, but they're also seeing, you know, you're exchanging some of your data for that cash back. For me, I don't especially care if they know what I order on Target or Erin Condren, so it's okay for me. But yeah, just keep that in mind, because a lot of things that are free online might be free money-wise, but you are exchanging your information for that. And as long as people go into it knowing what they're getting themselves into, I personally don't have a problem with that. So that's kind of where I stand, but I just thought I would mention that specifically because it took me a long time to really specifically think of it that way. And I'm also like, because I was like one of the first generations to really kind of grow up with social media, I was like, not like a MySpace kid, but I used MySpace in high school, like that. So I was like one of the you know, younger, not the younger generations, but you know what I mean? Like, anyway, that's something that at first I did not think about when I was thinking about social media. And obviously I'm here on YouTube and I know that Google tracks me this, that, and the other way, and I don't have a huge problem with it, but I just thought I would throw it out there in case nobody else had specifically thought about that. Because, you know, sometimes it's important. Another thing that you can do, of course, is get a VPN that can also shield your data. I don't know which one it is, but I know that there's at least one that has a free version. I don't know what it does, the free version does. I don't use a VPN all the time, but the one I do use when I do use a VPN is NordVPN. I've been using that one for a few years and I like it. Again, not affiliated, don't have any codes. Google it. Yes. Shakira, I like this. You may as well be the one benefiting because your information is being sold one way or the other. Very good point. Yes. It's just a matter of like going into it knowledgeably. But I mean, there are some things you can do. I'm not going to pretend like this is foolproof by any means, but like, you know, if you really wanted to like shield your birthday or something like that, you could essentially create yourself like a fake birthday that you use in all of these things. Sometimes I use my real birthday and sometimes I use a fake birthday. So for me, it doesn't always work out, and I've used different fake birthdays. Usually I could stick with the same year, but like different days. So I don't know. I've used my real birthday enough to know that that's probably very much not shielded, but there are ways to get around it, or even like security questions. This isn't so much a privacy thing, but if you think about it, a lot of those security questions are supposed to be things that you'll just, you know, like they ask you this question, it's supposed to be a fact about you, but a lot of these things, not all of them, but some of them can also be things that someone else might know about you. Like the, what was your first pet one that, sorry, something's crooked and I feel like I must straighten it. What is your first pet? It comes up quite a bit. And, for some people that might be more obscure than for others. For me, I actually have a fake response to that. It is related to the real response, but it is unrelated just enough that you probably would not guess it. Like my answer, if you knew the real answer. It's kind of based on a little bit of a nickname we had for that pet, but we kind of didn't use it very often anyway. So you can do stuff like that to shield yourself a little bit if you want, but to some extent, there's nothing you can do if you're online. And because I've grown up with a lot of this, there are some things that I just kind of, like I've accepted this and I know where I'm willing to take the risks. Sharon, you make up all the answers to those questions. You never put reality down. There are some things I will put the reality down to, and there are some things I won't. But because my default one is what was your first pet, and I use that anytime that's an option, like that's the big one that I like switch around. There's also one, it's like, what was your high school mascot? And my high school mascot was really weird. So I do use reality for that one because it just makes me laugh, but it's nothing that most people would even know because my high school did not have, well, I take that back. We had one sports team my senior year. It was a middle school volleyball sports team. But other than that, we didn't have any sports teams. Oh, Ackman, I love that. I usually end up using the correct day of the month, but like a different month for my fake birthday. And then, as I said, I use the correct year. Usually, before I was 21, sometimes I'd use a fake year, but I've been 21 for quite a while, so. Yeah. There was a little bit of talk about the back to school stuff that I do want to go. I'm assuming BTS stands for back to school and not the K-pop band, just from context, but I will just mention that I'm making that assumption. Correct me in the chat if I'm incorrect. So Ackman, you're saying, I know I mentioned earlier that you didn't end up buying anything from the BOGO sale, but you're saying you spent too much at other stores like Amazon and Amazon Japan. I didn't even think about going to Amazon Japan. Oh, that would be so much fun. I have been spending some time tooling around AliExpress lately, have not spent any money there at all lately, but you can get some really good deals, and especially when you find products that are private labeled or sometimes called white labeled, where basically the company, like their brand name is on it, but they didn't like actually make it, the specs or anything. They just went to a manufacturer in China and said, we like that, put our name on it. So sometimes you can find the company they bought it from and buy the same thing for like half the price. I did that for my label printer. One of the big label printers that small businesses get is called Rollo. It has a lot of benefits. Okay, a few benefits over some of the other ones like Dymo, for instance. With Dymo, you have to like use their own labels, and you don't have to do that with Rollo. And so anyway, a Rollo label printer is like $200. I don't want to spend that. But I figured out that it was a private label, so I went to the company that makes them, went onto Alibaba. In that case, you actually couldn't order less than, I think it was like 10 or 20, but they did allow you to buy a sample. And so I literally just bought a sample. It's different colors. I think it has a different name on it, but it works great, no problems. And I got it for, I think, this was like 3 or 4 years ago, but I think I got it for like $110 versus $200. So you can definitely get a lot of stuff like that. And that is actually one thing I would love to do for a video sometime, because I know we were talking about this the other day, like, does Erin Condren do this for some of their products? Like, we know that they talk a lot about designing their planners, and I don't doubt that they put a lot of thought and care and design into them. But we know for a fact, based on the packaging, that a lot of their accessories are made in China. So are these things that they're sending the specs over to the manufacturers for, or is this something that they're finding something that they like and they're like, oh, put our name, put our logo, put our designs on it. I just, because today is Labor Day, I like thought about doing that for like a minute, and then I'm like, no, today's Labor Day. I don't know if people are really going to turn up, because I know a lot of people like get together with families or do barbecues or, you know, getting set up for school the next day, like all this sort of thing. I wasn't sure if a lot of people were going to be here, so I figured this like would not be the right day to do something like that. I think that would just be like, I don't know. I think that would be amazing, like fun. So yeah. So Shakira, I know I mentioned this. Have you been dabbling in the 𝗀𝗏𝗁𝗕 launch? I mentioned that I have not. I know we looked at what they had like a little bit a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, oh, we should look at that for the launch, and then I completely forgot about it. So we can definitely take a look at that if you guys want. I legit just brought it up on the screen. So let me know in the chat if you guys want to take a look at the 𝗀𝗏𝗁𝗕 launch. We could also do that another day. Yeah. Jumping around in the comments. Hopefully I'll get back to like doing things in order. Ackman, you're saying, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a word or something, or just letters, and I can't figure out how to pronounce it. So LIHT lab. If it was TH, I'd be say Lith lab, but whatever. Oh my goodness, you guys can look. Anyway, it's a zipper pouch, got the bear, panda, and cat silicone pouches. That sounds adorable. I have way too many pouches. Way too many. Pronounced 𝗬𝗏𝗁𝗕. Thank you. Oh, there's an I in between the H and the T. See, that makes sense. For some reason, I didn't see that. Well, now now I want to look at them. 𝗬𝗏𝗁𝗕 Labs. That's interesting. That's how it's. Sorry. It's interesting that's how it's. If it's a Japanese company, that's interesting. That's how it's spelled in English. Oh, I should go to JetPens and not just the 𝗬𝗏𝗁𝗕 Labs site. Okay, we can do that. Alrighty, let me go ahead and get my screen share going. There we go. Sorry about, oh, give me a sec. I think I need to change a couple things for how, sorry, I'm trying to remember the chat. There we go. I think that's the right chat. Yeah, that should be right. Okay. So that's adorable. Is this what we're talking about, or is this something else? Zipper pouch. Bear, panda, and cat silicone pouches. Go lower. Okay. These are adorable. Is this it? I kind of like these too. I mean, all of them are so cute. I love the little kitty. I'm guessing this is what you were talking about. The Smart Fit. Oh, this was it? No, that's the covers. The Smart Fit zipper pouches. Okay, so this is what you were talking about. Oh my God. And they have a gray kitty. I know it's not tabby, but they don't have tabby kitty for a lot of stuff. They have a black and a gray. That's close enough. So cute. So cute, but I do not need more pouches. Okay, okay. Ooh. That does hold a lot of stuff. They're on Amazon. Okay, so we're looking at Amazon now. Give me a second. I'm going to go back to this because not that I search for anything on Amazon that like is like quote unquote not safe for work, but I don't, because Amazon always like comes up on the front page with like random stuff, I like always don't want to like just randomly show it to the internet. Okay, we're good. I'm not sure what they would suggest that I would be embarrassed about, but you know. Let's see. Oh, come on. I could type. The price depends on the design. Okay. That would make sense. It's pretty common on Amazon for them to have different prices for different things. Cute. Okay, so yeah, this one's 14. And then gray cat is, yeah, I mean, definitely cheaper here. Oh, they have 2 sizes. I was wondering why they looked so tiny in the thumbnails, and it makes sense that they're the slim size. Oh my god. Those actually, the big ones might fit a sheet of my stickers. Not that I need anything to really hold stickers in, but that's just funny. But it doesn't say like how far, it says how deep it is, but it doesn't say how big the other way it is. Oh, here we go. 4.1 inches. Oh, yep, that would not, it's not tall enough to fit a sheet of my stickers. Oh, well, it doesn't really matter. So you're saying some of the others are $10? Well, not all of the other ones. That's okay. I mean, it doesn't matter. As I said, I have enough pencil pouches that I'm not using currently that I need to be good and not buy stuff. The gray cat on your Amazon says $9.99. Interesting. I mean, we knew that Amazon, gave people different prices, but that I didn't realize for something like this cheap, it would be that much of a difference. Do you have Prime? I'm curious. I kind of wish it didn't have my zip code on screen, but whatever. And of course it won't go away. Okay, it doesn't matter. I tell you guys I'm in Portland. It's a big zip code. Oh, good point. Same vendor. It could be a different vendor that you're on. Okay, those are kind of cute. What did you guys do? Now I'm going to get so like obsessed with these, and I'm going to like think about them, and even though I don't need them, I'm going to be like, I need them. And here's the thing. I've been trying to declutter parts of my apartment. So far, I have not. I saw this and I'm like, ooh, I have something kind of similar, except it's 3 across and it's black. But yeah, anyway, because I'm trying to declutter stuff, I'm trying not to spend a ton of money on bringing stuff in that could be called like organizational stuff until I know what I actually need. This is kind of cute. Oh my good, there's so much in here. Like, okay, I just need to see what all this fits, because that looks amazing. Like, maybe it looks like this mythical pouch that like holds everything. I could be wrong. Okay, that's interesting. So that main compartment goes from the side and the top? Okay, that's cool, but realistically, how would that actually work out? I feel like stuff would just fall off the side. But maybe the point is that you can choose one or the other? And see, in this picture, it looks like there's a shelf on the top. I don't know. My brain is going, ugh. It's still very interesting. If they wanted to send me one for PR, I would definitely try it. This one's cool too. I actually have gotten a couple of PR requests from different planner companies that I never got around to responding to, and I probably should, because I have no problems with trying out their planners, and I think it would be very cool to, you know, at least like try them for a week and then do a live stream or something. The only problem with stuff like that is that, like, once I write in, I can't like donate it, and I like realistically, like, I can swap back and forth between 2, maybe 3 planners, but other than that, I can't actively use them. Maybe what I need to do is start like photocopying the pages and using them for testing. That way, if it's something that I could see myself using, I could. So this is where I found their actual website, by the way. Anyway, after I like photocopy it and try it, maybe at that, like, seriously, at that point, maybe if I want to keep it, I can write in it, but then I could still donate it. These are the things I think about, but yeah, it would be kind of cool to test out different planners, because a lot of what I've used is, I mean, most of what I've used for the past few years is Erin Condren. I used a Hobonichi Weeks for a little while, a couple years ago, which I did like. I have to have a sticker kit for that one, though. Like, that's one thing I have been liking about the Compact Vertical. For that one, I need, like, as soon as I turn it into a checklist, which I can do either with my own stickers or like a checklist washi, then I'm perfectly fine and I can use it and it's great. But if I don't feel like putting down a bunch of stickers in a planner that week, like, then it's a little bit harder for me to use the 7x9 or Classic Vertical. Sometimes I'll use a pen in there as well. But like the Hobonichi, I have to have a sticker kit in that one. And because all of the Hobonichi sticker kits that I have bought are printables, so I can print them off fairly easily, but there's always like something little wrong with the sticker kit that like bugs me with the way it works. Like, something always isn't sized quite right. And yes, it is annoying. So that's just me, I think, being picky. But, all right, well, apparently they just don't have that. Maybe it's here. Yeah, that could just be me being picky, but it would be interesting to try out some other planners and like slightly different things. I tried out a planner a while back from Wordsworth. I actually used that one kind of on and off very occasionally because because it's undated. And it does already have a checklist built in for each day. It is a horizontal layout, which is how I figured out. They sent it to me for PR a few years ago. That's how I figured out I can use a horizontal layout as long as there's a checklist involved. But it's not my preferred way of doing it. Yeah, that's just me. But yeah. But yeah, trying some other brands could be kind of interesting. So I should probably get back to them. The other thing is like, and I mean, maybe this is a little bit meta to be talking about live on a stream. Let me go away from the screen share. But there is the whole, like, okay, so if someone is going, if I'm going to agree to review someone's product for a stream, like, do I want to say like, yeah, just send me the product and I'll review it? Do I want to ask them to pay me for, like, you know, time or, you know, energy, especially if I'm going to be trying out the planner for like a week. Like, I mean, yes, I would be using a planner anyway, but there is some time that kind of goes into figuring out how you're going to use it and all that good stuff. And then if I actually wanted to be on my game, there'd be like the whole process of taking photos and making a nice thumbnail, which again, I don't always do. Erin Condren, at least, often has some good promo images, and they've never been mad about me using them for thumbnails before. I don't know if I ever actually asked them, but they do often say, like, here are some promo images you can use, so I don't think it's a problem. But there's the whole, like, okay, so if I'm gonna charge them for my time and effort, how much do I charge them? Because, like, I do have a very small audience, and a lot of times when you do a lot of these calculations, they're like, okay, like, how many thousands of views do you get? I'm like, I don't really get thousands of views, but I have like a small group of people that often show up like twice a week, and I got to know them really well. And so it's very much like micro influencer, but when you look at my numbers, they're like, oh, like, you know, it doesn't feel like it would be worth that much. Again, maybe I'm getting too meta for it. But I also don't want to get into a situation where I've agreed to do something and for some reason I like really don't feel like doing it, and like I don't know, I don't know. I would like to be fairly compensated for my time for things that I wasn't already going to do. And anyway, that I don't know how to explain it other than that, but there is that whole, like, because I don't have a big audience, like, is it fair to them for me to charge them? Shakira, you got your bags, but you did get charged $40 USD in duties. Oh my goodness. I would be bitter too. I'd be very bitter. Sharon, I'm glad I'm making sense. I know I'm kind of rambling about this whole thing. And I will say that, like, this all goes into everything I was just talking about, is that there are some companies out there. I don't think any of the companies that reached out to me are like this, but there are many companies out there that will essentially try to scam people on social media, up and coming, or like want to be influencers. I've gotten approached by some, hello Leah, hope you're having a good one, where it's like, hey, like, try our yoga pants. I've never done like much of anything relating to clothing and fashion, like a little bit here and there, but not enough to really do like a yoga pant thing. And they're like, you know, like, all you have to do is pay shipping, and then you can, you know, make an affiliate commission or whatever. And then it turns out shipping is like $30. I'm like, okay, I know they're coming from England, but like, I don't know. That, oh my God, Leah, your AC went out? That sucks. Is it like out, or do you manage to get it back up? Oh my goodness. That sucks. Yeah. Going back and forth between what you guys are saying in the chat and what I'm talking about. There are other, I mean, you've also heard of like the fake reviews on Amazon. I've definitely gotten approached by companies saying like, hey, do you want to review this on your YouTube channel? Usually it's like beauty stuff, because I used to do beauty on my YouTube channel, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm not really doing beauty anymore on my YouTube channel. And they're like, oh, well, we could still send you stuff in exchange for Amazon reviews. And I'm like, so far, they've never had anything I actually really wanted. As long as they were okay with me doing a 100% fair Amazon review in exchange for the thing, I might actually go for it. But I would completely, I would completely disclose to them that, like, I will be fair in the review. I probably would see the thing at least a little bit through rose-colored glasses if they gave it to me for free. But, yeah, anyway. I actually did get approached. Oh, it was really annoying, actually. I got approached by, like, a very new skincare company very recently. They only had like 4 or 5 products, but a couple of them Ooh, looked really interesting. Specifically, okay, there are many of these things out there, but it was like an electric callus remover, and I haven't really talked about this on my channel because it's not really related to anything I talk about, but I get a shit ton of calluses on the bottom of my feet, to the point that to keep my feet soft, I would have to do one of those like foot peel masks once a month. And I found them like for $5 a piece, so I actually, like, it's not like it would be expensive to do that, but I usually just don't bother. But I'm like, ooh, that would be cool to get. But since I don't do beauty on my on my channel anymore, I kind of was hoping that they were going to be one of the ones I was like, well, if you just want it for free and, you could, review it on Amazon and be like, oh, as long as you don't mind me being, giving an honest review, that's fine. But alas, no, they said that, they saw that I used to do beauty stuff, and so they, wanted to reach out in case I still did, and to reach out if I was ever interested. So, but that's one of those things that, like, I feel like I don't want to screw the companies over. I don't know. I obviously don't want to be scammed. That I'm just getting into this whole thing. Leah, you've said, let's see, you're probably not going to be here very long. Try to figure something out. Hope you all have fun today. I'll jump back in if you can later. I hope I hope you're able to figure something out. If you know what went wrong, that can help. But otherwise, you might just have to get someone out there to take a look at it, which is really annoying. Or what you could do is you could just buy a couple of box fans to get you through the heat, like this part of the heat, and then that way it's not as urgent. So there's that too. Shakira, you're saying way to rig the system. Wait, what did I rig the system on? I feel like I try to give fair reviews on everything I review, but I will fully admit that as much as I try to keep it out of my opinion of a product, I probably would be see things in a slightly more positive view because I got it sent to me for review consideration for free, whatever you want to call it. I will say though, oh, you mean the company, not me. Okay. Oh yeah, they don't want genuine reviews. Oh yeah. Yeah, most places, not most places, but there are a lot of people on Amazon that do not want genuine reviews. They just want good reviews. I will say, okay, I have a thing on this side of my hair. There we go. Okay. That's the problem. My hair has been wanting to do this very deep side part lately. And the problem, part of the problem, there we go. Part of the issue with that, apart from me not being used to it, is that things go in places that I'm not used to. But I've decided I'm just gonna give in. I could do a whole stream where I call out companies, or maybe I just blur out the names or something, but show you the crazy emails I've gotten over the years. There are many emails I've gotten that were obviously a copy and paste job. They saw one beauty video that I made 5 years ago, and they're like, hey, try our, whatever it is. There are a couple things that I'm like, ooh, that would have been cool to try. I kind of wish I'd thought about it more back then. I got offered a water pick once. I'm like, I don't need a water pick. And then I'm like, actually, that kind of would be kind of cool to try, because I hate flossing. And maybe it would be making me use. Oh, what I was going to say is that I had a company I was going to work with a few years ago. Again, this was back when I was doing beauty stuff. And I found a company that had offered one of my YouTube friends at the time. Well, she's still my friend, but we're just not as close. Anyway, they had offered to send her a teeth whitening kit. And we were around the same size at the time. And I'm like, ooh, I would love to whiten my teeth. So I emailed them and asked them if they could send it to me too. And so, I start the whole process and everything. And I knew I had fairly sensitive teeth, but this was like marketed as for people with sensitive teeth. So I'm thinking, awesome. I think I got 1 to 2 weeks in to the whitening because it was supposed to, I think it was supposed to be over like 3 or 4 weeks. I forget. It was a long time ago. I think I even remember the name of the company, but I'm not going to mention it, both because I don't want to call them out and I'm not sure if I remember it correctly. But anyway, like it was, if you guys have ever experienced the kind of like teeth sensitivity you get when whitening where it like keeps you up at night and like ibuprofen isn't helping, that's what I was getting. And so I felt so bad that I had to go back to them after the fact and be like, look, I can't give this a good review. And I'm pretty sure you don't want me to make a video giving it a bad review since you sent it to me. If it was my own money, it would be a different story. But I feel like it would, you know, I feel like I'd be reneging on my deal if I did a bad review without telling you about it first. So, yeah. I felt kind of bad having to do that. But at the same time, you know, as I said, I will admit that when I get something, you know, I might be a little swayed if I get it for free or whatever. But at the same time, I do not want to do anything intentionally to compromise my integrity and, you know, say something is good when I don't actually think it is. Even things that I like, if I can find negatives about it, even if it's something I don't care about at all, I like to point it out because it might be something someone else cares about. And so, yeah, that was one of those things where I'm like, oh, I feel kind of bad. Like this was the first time I like reached out to a company and actually got them to like send me something that I like asked for, and I just can't go through with it. So yeah. Ahmed, maybe you should purchase 2 items on Amazon Japan and pay $17 or $21 in shipping and still be a couple dollars less than ordering from JetPens. Sharon, you vote JetPens. I've heard of a service called, I think it's called 𝗫𝗫, and it's supposed to be like an intermediate service if you want to buy things from Japanese sites that don't ship to the US. Now, buying from Amazon Japan, I'm guessing they ship to the US, so that wouldn't be as big of a deal, but maybe their fees would be cheaper somehow. I don't know. Ahmed, you're debating about the same price from either places, cheap from Amazon Japan, but then they add in the shipping, makes it about the same. I would personally, if I was faced with that choice and I was in a hurry, or if I was having a problem like with like figuring out JetPens, I would buy from Amazon for the simplicity of it, but I figured that JetPens is a smaller brand than Amazon, and if it was the same to me, I feel like it might be a little bit better to give them my business. I'm not even going to get into the debate about like, should you buy from Amazon period here, because I'm honestly not very educated, plus I do buy from Amazon. So I would not be able to have a good discussion about that. But, you know, all things even, I usually like to go from the smaller companies, or whenever possible, the actual manufacturer, or like the, you know, the company that is originally selling it. So for example, I know this is a little bit of a different example, but I buy my sticker paper from a company called Online Labels, and I actually started buying it on Amazon, mostly because it was just kind of simple, like the checkout process. I tried a bunch of other sticker papers on Amazon that were a little cheaper, but way more inconsistent, and finally I'm like, nope, I just want to go with like the consistency. So anyway, so they had it on Amazon for, you know, Prime shipping, and it wasn't like true Prime, but at least, but it was like 5 days instead of 2 days. I don't know. It was basically free shipping, even though it wasn't like the 2-day shipping, because they don't store their stuff at Amazon. They ship it from their warehouse when they sell it on Amazon. And so it made it easier and more approachable to give it a shot, and I ended up loving the Online Label sticker paper, and I never ended up going back, and that's definitely for anybody who's making their own stickers or buying printables and printing their own. Highly recommend Online Labels. And then one day I decided to try on the Online Labels website. And the other thing I was thinking is like, well, Online Labels, like you have to pay shipping separately. It's going to be more. But the thing is that Online Labels ups the price on Amazon a little bit to compensate for that. So it ends up being like within $1 or something like that. And it's like $1 more expensive on Amazon when you factor in like shipping and everything. So I'm like, okay, it's getting shipped from the same company. Amazon takes a 15% cut. I'd rather go directly to the company. I will also say that Online Labels, like if you ever need like samples of the sticker paper before you buy it, for me, I just get it as like, uncut, but if you need like pre-cut labels or something like that, they will actually send you a sheet or two sample. And I highly recommend that instead of ordering it online, you call them, because they will give you more if you call them. In case you're ever curious. Ackman, you already spent $50 from JetPens this morning. Shakira saying, doesn't everyone buy from Amazon? Yeah, I mean, even people I know that have talked about, oh, I don't want to support Amazon because of ethical reasons, which I completely understand and respect. I have some ethical concerns as well. Again, I'm not going to get into too much detail, but I still see people buying from Amazon at least occasionally. So, yeah. Shakira, you were about to say that some small businesses do sell through Amazon. Not sure how it works out for them profit-wise, though. Okay, I actually have looked into this a little bit. So, as I said, Amazon takes a 15% cut. Etsy, I think once all is said and done, takes around a 9.5% cut. I pay about 13% for my sticker subscription box. So, and I think eBay takes 15 or even a little bit more. So it's like at the top of the online marketplaces that I've seen, but not exorbitant. I have heard that some fine art sites take 30%. So, if you compare Amazon's 15, it's not too bad. Luckily for me, I actually could sell on Amazon without too much of a problem, like profit-wise. Like I wouldn't lose enough for it to be a huge deal. And I actually have been wanting to put my stickers on Amazon. They have a handmade section of Amazon. Oh, here's the other thing. So Amazon, they take 15%, but I think it's like if you're going to post more than like 30 listings a month or there's some sort of limit. But like you can put like 1 or 2 things up on Amazon and not pay like a monthly fee. But once you get to a certain amount, okay, Opie, no please. Then you do have to pay a monthly fee theoretically. If you're a normal business, you do. And it's waived for me, and I'll explain why in just a second. I want to say it's 30 or 40 bucks a month. I could be wrong. As I said, it's waived for me. Yellow Spring, in case anybody's curious. So it would be the 50% plus that. And then if you want it shipped from Amazon, like their warehouses, then you also have to pay an additional fee for that, for them to store it and pick it and pack it and all that sort of thing. And I will say they do have a calculator for that. So that's kind of what goes into that. And so that's why a company like Online Labels might want to sell on Amazon, pay the 15% and then pay like the 40 bucks. I mean, if you're selling enough, the 40 bucks a month or whatever is kind of negligible. It's like the small seller, so that could be an issue. However, Amazon also does have a handmade program, and they have you can search separately for handmade items on Amazon, or sometimes they will show up in the normal results. I think that's more relatively new. Anyway, if you're accepted into the handmade program, which I have been, they do waive the monthly fee. So that's why I don't have to worry about the monthly fee. I just have to worry about, if I were to sell on Amazon, the 15%. I actually have put a couple items on Amazon from my Etsy shop. I have not put more up for a couple of reasons. First off, their image requirements are a little bit different than Etsy, so I would have to redo a lot of my images. that's, if I actually just wanted to do it, it's not a big deal. You know, I could get that done. It's also a little bit more complicated to post things on Amazon than it is on Etsy. There's just a little bit more that more that you have to figure out. And part of it is just that I'm not really familiar with Amazon, and I am very familiar with Etsy because I've been using it. So like any other marketplace I see it through the lens of Etsy. And as I said, Amazon is definitely more complex on top of just being different. And there are a lot of things that they like want you to fill in that don't apply, or just different other things. Like, I will say though, what is very cool is they have a specific like handmade concierge team that if you need help, you can like request a call back from them and they will like walk you through it. And so that is very cool. But the other reason, and this is more just me not having implemented it yet, is that with Amazon, you do have to have a SKU number for everything. I forget what SKU stands for. But it's it stands for stock keeping unit. Basically, you know, everything has a unique number, at least within a certain brand. And then Amazon gives it its own, I forget what it is, ASIN, I think is what it is. So I do not currently have SKU numbers for my things. So there's just a bunch of things that would need to happen for me to list stuff on Amazon. And it's one of those things that I think I would like to do eventually. But since I am trying to figure out like what I'm keeping the same and what is changing in my shop, and my brain has just been going around and around in circles, and I have not been able to figure out what I want to do for weeks on end. It's one of those things where I'm like, okay, I probably shouldn't jump into that right now. However, one thing that has been, I might jump into it sooner as opposed to later, at least with a couple of items, because Amazon has, at least a couple months ago, offered like a free credit towards advertising on Amazon. I think that's what it is. Or maybe it's a credit towards sending stuff to Amazon and having them ship it. I don't know. And so it was the kind of thing, I was like, oh, maybe I'll like try a few things, see how they sell, and see if it's going to be worth it. But there is like an additional, I think it's like a percentage fee plus like a flat amount. And because my items are so small, like those like little flat amounts, like Etsy, when I say they charge like 9.5% or 9% once all things are said and done, I'm excluding the like 20-cent listing fee. And I think there's like another like 30 or 50-cent fee in there somewhere. I'm just like, you know, I'm just making it simple because I can't remember exactly what those things are. But when your items are $5, 20 cents, or 50 cents, or $1, like flat fee on top of whatever percentage it is a much higher percent than if your product's $20. So I just, basically I would have to sell a lot of stuff on Amazon to make it worth it, but it's one of those things like, oh, it might be worth a small loss to give it a shot, I guess. But I have not decided yet. And so that's where I'm like, okay, I should probably kind of figure out what I'm doing before I jump into it. Unless it's like, oh, you have to send your stuff in by the end of September in order to take advantage of whatever this credit is. I should probably go back and look at actually what it is. But I will say Amazon is like pushing hard to get more handmade sellers on the platform, which is very interesting. I think they're trying in some ways to take Etsy down. I mean, Etsy in and of itself is like a whole, I mean, you could have, there's a lot of debate. Some people have like a very negative opinion of Etsy. I kind of go back and forth. I still think it's the best place for handmade businesses based on what's out there. But my personal opinion is that a lot of the changes that they are making do not, maybe aren't actively not in the seller's best interest, but they like don't really make a huge impact to us. And for the most part are like completely neutral or detrimental to me. I will say though, They recently made a change to the way their autoresponders for messages work, and I ultimately misunderstood the change, and I think the person on the other end didn't understand the change, or they didn't understand what I was saying I had a problem with. Because last week I called and I like literally almost burst into tears because I'm like, you don't understand, this is like a huge deal, it's like the way you changed it like impacts me so much. And then I realized like 3 days later, it's like, actually they didn't take away the way they were previously doing it, they just added something else that doesn't work for me. Basically on Etsy, I like to have an autoresponder that goes out whenever anybody sends a message that has like FAQs, so that if the question falls into one of those categories, people get an instant answer. And the new way they're doing the autoresponder doesn't allow you to do that, but I thought they took away the old way, and they didn't. So I like legitimately am thinking about writing an apology email to Etsy. I know like it would just go to the main Etsy customer support, but I'm like, I am so sorry to like whatever rep I talked to. Like I did try to make clear to them that I knew that they personally weren't at fault, but I'm sorry they had to deal with me. So like that change, like for me personally was neutral. There are some changes I'd love for them to make that they're not making. For example, like people will talk on people will talk. I'm trying to think of like how to explain this from like a customer point of view without giving you guys too much info. And if you're getting bored of this shit, let me know and we can talk about something else. But basically, if you're shopping on Etsy, you'll see that some sellers have a star seller badge. And to do that, you have to meet 3 metrics. You have to get a certain percentage of 5-star reviews. You have to have a certain percentage of responding to, I think you have to respond to, I think it's like 95% of messages within 24 hours of it being sent. Which is part of where the autoresponder can come in very handy, especially because I have ADHD and sometimes I'm just having a bad brain day and it's like, okay, I can let it go 2 days. And then you also have to have at least 95% of your items sent out on time and with tracking. And I don't have a problem with the on time. The issue is tracking, because I can send an international item for between like $2.50 and $4, or more like, yeah, $2.50 and $4 USD untracked internationally. But to send it tracked, it costs $14 to send it to Canada and around $18 to $20 to send it anywhere else in the world. And so when you're talking about $5 sheets of stickers, asking them to pay 4 times the amount of the item in shipping just to get a tracking number is a little ridiculous. And so I had to make the decision when I had a bunch of customers who were international coming to me asking, do you have a cheaper way to do shipping other than like this $18 thing? I'm like, well, I can do untracked, but like here's, it can take a long time to get there. I don't have a way to figure out what happened if it gets delayed. And there's not a tracking number, obviously, and it will go in an envelope and not a cardboard mailer, which, by the way, usually isn't a big deal. Knock on wood. I hope it doesn't become an issue, but I mail almost all of my orders in envelopes and not cardboard mailers. But anyway, all of them that I've offered this to, it's like, I completely understand the risks. Thank you. I know you have to go through the whole spiel. I'd like to do this. So finally, I just offered it as a standard option. And that is the reason why I lost my star seller badge. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bitter about it, because literally I had to forfeit this star seller badge to do what my customers wanted. And the star seller badge is supposed to be an indication that the seller will take care of the customer. And in my case, that's very much not true. Because what I had to do to take care of the customer was essentially lose the star seller badge. So as I said, very much bitter about this, but at the time being, I have decided it's worth it. I have thought about like making a note or like putting an image in my listing saying like international, would prefer to have it untracked, message me. for more info. You know, we have an untracked option, map request only, message me for more info, but it seems like more trouble for everybody. And it honestly feels like I'm doing a disservice to my customers and to me as a business just to make Etsy happy. And maybe I should just give up and try to make Etsy happy, but it seems stupid, in my opinion. If the customer wants to pay significantly less for untracked shipping, they should have that option. And last time I talked to Etsy about it, they said that like, well, we just rolled out this new purchase protection program for sellers where we'll like essentially insure stuff if it's shipped with tracking. And I'm like, great. I would still like the option to send something untracked and know on my end that I'm opting out of that protection because I'm sending it untracked without having other penalties. Because in my experience, I have few enough orders, again, knock on wood, go astray that I'm happy to, resend the occasional order when needed. Probably gonna regret saying that, but I have my own internal policy for like when I'll resend stuff and under what circumstances. So, Ackman, you said this a little while ago and I never really read it out loud or responded to it. You always get free shipping from Amazon. Almost always get your orders before if I actually paid for the shipping. Like you have the amount, like the 25 or 35 or whatever it is. My guess is that if you get to that, then it goes through like their quick Prime system or something like that. I actually technically don't pay for Prime. I piggyback off of my parents who pay for Prime. And they like attached my account to their account so that I get the free Prime shipping, but I don't get the other benefits like Prime Video, though they actually gave me their login so I can get that anyway. But I will say that while I do enjoy having Prime, I don't pay for it. Ooh, Ackman, being near a warehouse, that would make sense. And being in California with like a lot of, big population, I would not be surprised if there are several warehouses near you. So, yeah, definitely good for you as far as that goes. Oh, that was weird. You know how like sometimes you see like bunnies, like sometimes dogs, like, put their leg down like really fast? That's what my cat just did. They sometimes will also do like, get your first 6 months of Prime free if you're a student. I don't know if that's good for everybody. And they also just like rolled out like a new business version of Prime that like has extra benefits. I forget what it was, but it wasn't anything that I especially cared about as a small business. So like a one-woman small business, I should say. I'm sure it would be great for some people. But yeah. Ackman also mentioned that we've been talking for an hour and a half, whereas at the beginning, I'm like, I don't know how long we're going to go. It might be half an hour. It might be an hour. Of course it's going to be an hour and a half. But I still am personally mostly going strong energy-wise. I can tell if I keep going that I'm going to start losing energy, and I know I've told you guys that if I just kind of like stream as long as I can to the point that I like really have to stop, then like, I don't know, like I kind of get like my brain like just kind of goes on like overload and I kind of can't do anything the rest of the day. So I think I will leave earlier rather than later. I need to get better at doing this. Good night, Sharon. I think we're thinking about the same thing. Before I do go, though, I just have a couple of things that I want to tell you guys. If you were not here right when I got on and mentioned, or maybe I didn't mention it right when I got on, I forget. Anyway, I linked my personal Instagram in the description down below. I usually don't because I haven't posted anything on it in like a year and a half. Except for today, I posted a picture of my hair. Because I mentioned the other day that I might start using Instagram again to kind of track my like wavy curly hair journey. I don't know. So it's just 𝗃_Williams on Instagram. There's a link. If you're interested, check it out. Otherwise, don't worry about it. But I just wanted to let you know because typically I say like, well, I'm not really active on Instagram, so don't bother checking me out. But I just wanted to let you know that I posted, and I don't know if I will again, but maybe. I also have one for my sticker shop, Coco and Opal Design. Again, don't really post on that. Might in the future. We'll see. So there is that. I also probably soon, maybe starting next week or the week after, well, I don't know when this will start, but at some point I think I am at least temporarily going to be going down to 1 stream a week. I don't know when exactly this will officially go into effect, but I just want to give you guys a heads up. It will probably stay at the same time, and it will be either on Mondays or Thursdays. Have not decided yet, but next week I may not be able to stream on Thursday. There is a like a live class, how to make, it's supposed to be DIY planner accessories with your Cricut. I don't have a Cricut, but I have a Silhouette, which is essentially a competing cutting machine. And so I will make the call a little bit closer into that time, whether I want to go to it live, or if I would like to watch the replay. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I think next week I will probably, I'll be live at least once next week. I don't know if it's going to be Monday or Thursday, or I might do a Tuesday or a Wednesday, because I just realized at the exact same time as the live on Monday next week, Monday the 12th, there is a webinar that Etsy is putting on, how to optimize your shop for the holidays. And the last webinar that Etsy put on, they accidentally didn't record it. So I don't know if there will be a replay for that. So I probably will have to reschedule Mondays next week specifically. And so I might just do Thursday next week, or I might do like a Tuesday or a Wednesday at the same time. I will let you guys know. But basically, things are going to change up a little bit. I'm just giving you a heads up about that, so you're aware about what's going on in 𝗃 land. And as I have more info, I will let you know. Next week, I have to say, there are like 4 different organizations doing like some sort of like seminar or like online event. So we have Amazon. Etsy's not doing like a full-blown thing, but they're doing an event next week. And then there's like this, I forget what it was called, but it's like basically an organization conference thingy that's all online. And some of it has to do with planning, but some of it has to do with like house organization. So I ear noted a bunch of those things that I want to go to, but because I'm not paying for it, I only get those for 24 hours after anyway. Next week's going to be interesting for me. I'll probably end up not going to most of it. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a heads up about how that was working. Just keep an eye on my upcoming events. I'm still looking at ideas for sending you guys notifications, since I know YouTube doesn't always put notifications out. When I go live, I might do a text group. I might just do a Telegram group, and then all you have to do is like join the group and turn on notifications. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I just want to let you know that's still on my radar. I think that's all I wanted to talk about. This piece of hair sticking out is bugging me. Go away. Okay. Not that I really care if I wasn't looking at my, on a camera or looking at myself. So I don't know why I was really bugging about that, because I'm going to go in just a minute. Thank you guys for being here. An especially big thank you to the replay crew, because for some weird reason, live watch time doesn't count towards the official YouTube watch time metric, and I'm working towards getting enough for monetization status. I'm at 3.7 thousand, and I need 4,000, so I'm getting closer. But anyway, thank you so much to the replay crew for being here, especially and making it to the end. Thank you for everybody who was here live. I had so much fun chatting. I mean, really, it's you guys that made this whole like impromptu something that I wasn't just rambling for like a half an hour or an hour, and I had a lot of fun. So thank you, all of you. It's all fun. I am planning on streaming this Thursday. It's next week. That's going to be weird. 4 p.m. Pacific. Hope to see you then. Take care. Bye.